Good evening, everyone. So we have a booth over there. A lot of people, they came and asked us, what is NPCI, what we do actually. So we are here to tell about what we are doing here in India. We are non-for-profit organization formed by Reserve Bank of India and IBA, Indian Banking Association. And we have around 65 shareholders from the banking domain. We have 19, I think you can see it over there. We have many stakeholders who have a stakeholders for NPCI where they have put money for that. So we have a long journey from 2008 onwards where we have started with NFS, we have started with NACH, CTS. NACH is nothing but it's a national automatic clearing house where all your EMIs, all your DBT transaction of government has passed through that. We have chunk title system also we have. And we have IMPS launched in 2010. And we have RuPay launched in 2012. So there are many products which were launched and UPI in 2016. Along with that, we have launched FASTag, the toll plazas which you see. That is also done by NPCI as a platform. So we have, when we started with UPI, the transactions in terms of adoption from the ecosystem was very less. And over the period when the demonetization came up, the utilization went up. So currently, if you ask us, in a month, we do around 20 billion transactions in UPI. So almost like 20.47 billion transactions we did in UPI this month. So that's what we are, and we have, in country level, if you ask us, any digital transaction you do in country, it's almost all the platform is NPCI platform. You say UPI, you say RuPay card, you say IMPS, NETC, anything. Yeah. Over to you.
Yeah, before I start, right, I just want to know how many of you know NPCI? A quick show of hands. I still see a little less number, but let me ask one more question. How many of you use UPI? Yeah, almost everyone. So we are the organizations who is powering UPI, maintaining, running it. And UPI not just being one product of NPCI. So our motto as an organization is, right, touching every Indian with one or the other product. So you cross a toll gate, you come across NETC. You do a card payment, you come across RuPay. So we as an organization is powering the Indian digital public infrastructure. And the common question which I was, asked along, whosoever visited the booth of NPCI, is NPCI a government organization? No, NPCI is not a government organization, but we work very closely for government projects. And why we are here? Because we are also building a lot of tech for powering the Indian digital blockchain infrastructure, wherein there are several government-based projects which are live in production. Namely, few is, the aspects of programmability which is introduced, wherein a specific token would be used for buying a specific product. Let's suppose you get a token, and it is bounded that you are going to buy only a certain product, like a gold token. So with that money, you are only able to buy gold. So that is the programmability features. But going forward, right, the more idea of coming here was to let you know what NPCI is. The image that you see on your screen, right, which sums us what we are and what impact we have created. So this image itself says a lot about our contribution in India's digital public infrastructure. You see a roadside vendor enabled to accept a digital transaction. So this is how, as a country, we have grown, and this is how, as an organization, we have grown. But this hasn't happened in one day. So this has been through a circle. Let me take you through how the evolution has happened. So in these slides, right, you will see what NPCI is. NPCI is a regulated entity by Reserve Bank of India and the Indian Banking Association, which has varied stakeholders, but I don't think this is more of a concern for the public audience here. So this is just not a slide, or this is just not a growth story of an organization. This is a growth story of, as a nation of India. So how we have reached to this stage where we being a 6, 8-year-old organization become the #1 payment organization in the world. The likes of, MasterCard, Visa, being there for 2 decades and more than presence in 200 countries are even behind us. UPI is the #1 payment system in the world. So there is a reason for it and how we have scaled to that level. So if you look at the slides, right, it will talk around how this cycle has evolved. So first, we started with this NFS switch, then we launched, IMPS, and then, it is all incremental. Then the great financial inclusion came into picture, where everybody, were mandated or were encouraged to open a bank account. So a person living in the remotest area of India is now enabled or are having a bank account. That is done through the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, where everyone, was financially included in the ecosystem. And then the benefit started to boom. Then we launched UPI. So UPI is, the benchmark in the payments industry worldwide. So the whole world, and this is a fresh idea, let me tell you, this kind of model never existed. So this is a homegrown idea implemented to perfection. And implemented to perfection in a sense when I see, right, when there is a little downtime, even 5 minutes, that becomes a national news. So we kind of not only have created it, but the more challenge is building, maintaining, and running it so the citizens of the country are getting benefited from it. So
And it's fully open source. Huh? So as a policy in NPCI, we build platform only on open source. So we never go for any licensed product. So that's what the scalability we build in actually.
So just give you a feel of how scalable and to which level we are scaling. So the first one, the slide that you see, right, which shows the number of, searches that any, webs, browsing or, the search engines provide. So they operate around 150K TPS. Then you have other matrices like how the other systems are flaring up. And then the world population stands around 7 billion. And then you have a homegrown system, NPCI, which does around 20 billion transactions per month. So this is the insane scale. So there is no one in the industry worldwide who can come to us in terms of scalability. We are way above and beyond any further benchmark. But let me tell you, we are not stopping there. So today, we stand around 1 billion a transaction, which is our motto. But we have still and started working on a 10 billion architecture, 10 billion transaction a month. So it's a constant process. So this slide talks more about, how we are the #1 payment system in the world. And why we are the #1 payment system in the world is because we have always approached the technology from, where the pain points are there and how we can enhance and we can squeeze every bit of the resources which is available. Then you have this UPI tech stack, which is basically a common tech stack, which I'll say, which NPCI uses. It's a completely open source tech stack. We do not use any proprietary software. But over and up, what we do is, right, we take this tech stack and we do our own engineering on top of it. So just to give you an example, as we are here in the India Blockchain Week, so we have created our own blockchain. The own blockchain infrastructure from ground up, where we have our own consensus methodologies, our own scalability platforms, and in our COE, we are doing, more than 100K TPS. And that too on regulated blockchain, where you can see the participants are regulated, their certificates and everything has to be matched. So this is the scale. So our motto has always been, right, when we build with that sort of mentality in mind, that if it is not for the citizen scale, if we are not doing justice for the scalability, then there is no point of building it. That is the psyche that NPCI has, because we have to cater the population of the biggest population in the world. So we build at a citizen scale. We maintain at a citizen scale, and we use open source. We are an organization which is an open source at heart, and we have built all the technologies, be it other products also like NETC, NASH, whatever product that comes in your mind when you do payment is backed by NPCI and backed by the open source technology. This is the another revolution that the world has adopted from us, which is the QR revolution. So the challenge is, let me tell you. So to make UPI or to make any other product right, the adaptability will come only when the user finds value. You can build tech whatever you wish, how good you wish, but it will only get adopted when there is an ease of use. So the QR revolution is where we as an organization standardize the protocols on how the QR should be, what are the nitty-gritties that will go into that QR, and post scanning that QR, what is the end API spec that has to be generated. So this was the time when we kind of created the specifications around this QR, and then there are around 687 million QR codes deployed across the country, which facilitates your payments. So let me take you through the journey of how we started, because I'm talking about a scale of 10 billion transactions a day, 20 billions doing a transaction a day. This hasn't happened in one day. So it has had its story. So I'll just try to walk you through in how much fast I can. So we started as an organization when we took over NFS. So we were just the operator of the platform. So we first tried our hands-on to the platform. We tried to understand how it works. Post that, we understood one thing. So this is not going to scale till we do our hands dirty in the code. So this is one part, phase one, where we were just operators. Then we moved into the proprietary solutions where, the proprietary databases, with the proprietary, caching services, the API layers, all came into picture. So we scaled. The scale was not a problem. Then suddenly we realized, but there is a limit with this proprietary solutions as well. So this is the point which I'll say is the turning point in Indian digital public infrastructure. When NPCI decided, this was the awakening moment or the turning point moment when we decided that we are going to go all on with all the products and even the open source for namely like KeyDB, you use any of the open source databases. How we do re-engineering around it. So we took those open source, we do re-engineering, and then this is where we are today. We are running a system which we have a complete control over the code, which is population scale, which, as I told, right, 20 billion transactions and 1 billion transaction system is benchmarked even for 100K transactions. And that is the point. Even running that system of that scale, we are having a near real zero-time downtime. So the system is always available. That is one of the core principles, right? The UPI being down for 5 minutes create chaos. NETC being down for 2 minutes, you'll say the lanes are busy. So our responsibility grows when we build systems like this. So with this, we have a near zero-time downtime. So yeah. So this is the part where, the open source scaling we have done. We have taken the open source software, re-engineered it, and then build, solutions or our own custom solutions around it. So I'll just walk you through the architecture. So this is the architecture of UPI or more or less any of the products. So the key idea, I'll just keep it short. The key idea when we design any solutions for NPCI or scale right. So we use a microservice architecture around it, where we define or put services. We provide a segregation rule for all the services on which role which services has to play, and each of the individual services are are fail-saved. In terms of failure, if any one of the component fails, we are ensuring that none of the services are bringing down. So the architecture is full fail-safe. Full fail-safing is our first core principle when we make any system like this. If you see, right, if you see a transaction processing unit, so this is the unit which kind of processes your transaction in real time. And post that processing, you have the DB and caching layer which comes into picture. And then eventually, your consistent database handling is being done. So these are the few design principles that we maintain while doing.
Yeah, one more thing I want to tell you in UPI is basically if you ask us, there is no dependency on database. So any transaction which happens end to end is all through in memory. There is no dependency on any of the file systems, no dependency on database. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'll just give you an interesting slide so that the audience here gets benefited or understand how the scalability is done in the real world. Not in a simulated environment, not in a benchmarking environment, and what all we do. So the idea of coming here is also to benefit and give benefit to the ecosystem to understand how this, how the major changes what we are doing for 1 billion architecture to a 10 billion architecture per day. So there are few changes that we are doing. Namely is that we are moving from HTTP to HTTP2 protocol. We are also exploring HTTP3. HSMs, so HSM doesn't come in critical path. So what we are doing edge computing in terms of the edge devices are being used for encryption, and your last devices, the receiving device does decryption, and the databases are more multiplexed. That is the changes that we are doing.
Idea is to get 10 billion transactions per day. So as Rahul said, we are exploring many technology and do a re-engineering. We are also exploring REST technology, and we had done some POCs, which we also seen a good performance in terms of very minimal infrastructure. And
So, not only for the citizens of India, NPCI is going global as well. So, we are facilitating international transactions as well, along with France, Singapore, Dubai, Mauritius, and many other countries are there in the queue. So, apart from going global, we are working on the offline payments modes as well. So, when there is no network zone, there is no internet in the mobile, still a user shall make a payment. He should not be stuck anywhere in any part of the country, whether it is a remote area or a forest or anywhere. So offline mode is also one of the area that NPCI is working upon.
So I think I talked more about, so I rushed these slides because of a reason, is right. So when we say, right, we are an open source entity. We have taken a lot of open source products, we re-engineered it and made, a scalable products for citizen scale in India. But what we are giving back to the community. So as we are in, the blockchain week, so Falcon is one of the NPCI's open source product. I'll say a utility or a product which you can call. You can use Falcon for an automatic production-grade deployment of Hyperledger Fabric blockchain network. So if you have, or if you are working on Hyperledger blockchain platform, so what you can simply do is that clone this repository and all the different, the aspects which comes into selection of your, underlying storage layer, selection of your OSS layer, selection of your database, all are abstracted. And you can deploy this using any of the, Kubernetes or orchestration platforms. You can use Rancher, you can use Kubernetes, you can use any of the platforms which you wish. So this is a complete open source, and our, 2 cents giving back to the open source community. And for the, blockchain enthusiast here, so any organization, even if they want to bootstrap a production-grade network and do not know how to, work around with so much of, technologies which are involved, storage, your, replications. So this is a complete production-grade system which provides you, replication, real-time monitoring, real-time health checkup of the whole system which is going around. So this is a complete, a product which you can utilize for your production-grade deployment and bootstrap your organization or your, blockchain network and get benefited from it. And the one more reason I was being asked a lot of question around from the audience that what we are doing in blockchain. So I'll just try to answer that from perspective. So we are working on many projects which are backed by Government of India, which are backed by Reserve Bank of India. So I do not, I'll not name those projects, but you will definitely come across those projects. And a message for all the Web3 builders here, please be ready for the asset tokenization boom, because we are building something wherein we'll invite the Web3 ecosystem to come on and build your layer 1 blockchains, build your own dApps, and get part of the next revolution, which from my perspective would be on asset tokenization. And the other projects which we are working upon, which will help ease cross-border payments, which will help ease programmability into picture, which will help ease offline payments. So there are n number of initiatives that are being worked by government, and we are there as technical entities who would be supporting it. So yeah, I think that is the crux of it, which I wanted to capture. Sanchit, and sir, if you want to add anything.
RBI has launched CBDC, right? So, and also in last September, they have launched PCBDC also in GFF. So it's more on the programmability which they have launched it in CBDC. So I think its programmability is more about like you can program the money and you can give it. In a very simple word, if as a parent, if I had to give a money to my kids as in pocket money, I can program that money, I can give it to them. They can use it in this way only. So it has been gone live with various banks. RBI has launched it. So maybe you can touch with your banks to start using it. Yeah. And government is also trying to bring all the DBT also as a part of CBDC, which RBI's initiative. Yeah.
So just an example, right? If you follow this space around, so recently our Prime Minister made an announcement when his visit in Himachal Pradesh. So all the kiwi farmers which are there and doing kiwi farming, just to promote that, the Government of India is providing them programmable CBDC to strengthen this movement of, or to encourage the movement of kiwi farming, so that they can buy fertilizers which are meant suitably for kiwi farmer. So we are ensuring that the money which government is paying is going and getting utilized for all the right reasons. Another example is the animal husbandry subsidies which are provided by government in Rajasthan. So we are just ensuring that that money which is going to the end user customer, that is being utilized for buying the animal husbandry products only. So it is programmed in such a way that it has also geographical tagging. So let's suppose if I have given someone a CBDC programmable coin to buy a certain product in Bangalore and in this particular Sheraton hotel, that can be very well done. So that is the power of the technology behind it, and it is all possible because of asset tokenization. So I'll tell you, we have already seen a physical to electronic transmission. So all this we used to do physical cash transfer. Now it's all digital. You can do UPI, you can do IMPS, or any method that you move. The third wave is through tokenization. So the CBDC is a tokenized asset. So it is on chain, it is programmable, it is tokenized for harnessing the benefit which is there. And there are n number of other initiatives, like recently the government has launched UMI, which you would have come across, United Market Interface. So that is another area which I'll encourage the Web3 builders out here to keep an eye upon. And those all areas you should try building something so that the ecosystem gets benefited. So I think I have covered most of the part of it, and you see the key takeaways. I have just landed it here so that you guys could understand how scalability with this modern tech works. So I think I'll encourage, if there is some questions from the audience, I'll be happy to answer it. Else I think I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, please go ahead.
You said the programmable coins are already out and we can connect to the bank.
Yes, the programmable CBDC is out. You can use it through Access or HDFC Bank, whichever banks you wish. So the feature is out, and currently it is being used by the government to facilitate the direct beneficiary transfer subsidies that is being given to the end customers.
Amazing. One more question. I do infra for layer one blockchain companies. So basically setting up cloud infrastructure for them. I really love the architecture diagrams you had put before. I took pictures of them, but can I find more details online?
More details?
Yeah.
You can connect with me offline.
Okay, cool.
I think it's not
Awesome.
Yeah, can you throw some light on the stable coins? Like there's a lot of news going on that India coming up with some stable coins.
Stable coins, cryptocurrencies, it's all based on regulations. So I don't think any regulation has come right now in India. Yeah.
No, I mean some kind of architecture coming from government agencies.
No, nothing has been worked on.
Or
right.
maybe CBDC will be used just like a stable coin or something like that.
As I think Bala sir already mentioned, right? So it all depends upon how RBI or the government wants to put regulations around. So I think it's not appropriate for us to comment on it right away. But definitely there would be something or the other. So when it's out, it would be in public, and I think you'll come across very soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hello. Thank you. A similar question, but that different line. That have you explored public blockchain integration or kind of working together with public blockchain? I understand you working on Hyperledger right now.
No, I'll just make that very clear. So we are not working on Hyperledger Fabric. So let me tell you, we have taken good parts from all the existing blockchains, like for creating wallets and all, right? We are following BIP32, BIP39 standards, which are mostly Ethereum standards. For the permissioned part of it, we have taken our queue from Hyperledger Fabric. So it's an in-house blockchain which is built by NPCI, which has which has the goodies of all the good blockchains, and we have tailor-made it for how that will suit our purpose and what platform we are building.
Hi. So you mentioned about CDBC, about e-rupee, if I'm not wrong. How does, if I read it correctly, it means e-rupee facilitates bank-to-bank transaction, right? So how will UPI come into this play? Like, will it make it obsolete, or how is it?
No, I think CBDC today also is UPI interoperable. So if you have a UPI CBDC app, if you have a CBDC app and you scan any UPI QR, you can make payments. So it's completely interoperable. So there is an interoperability between CBDC and UPI.
Hi, thank you so much for this talk. It was very insightful. I'm curious to know, like you're dealing with sensitive information, personal information, and all of that. I'm curious if you have explored privacy-preserving applications, ZK technology in your stack, and if not, is that something you would be interested in exploring? Just curious.
So thank you. I think, thank you for that question. That's a very good question. Let me tell you, we maintain a complete anonymity of the user on blockchain, where I again want to reassure everyone. So there is no user PII data, there is no user level data which is stored on blockchain. There is no transaction details of users are stored on blockchain, where I mean there are actual transactions, but there is no trace which user has done which transaction. The system, the CBDC, as the government has promised, it is completely anonymous, and we do not want to, even cater or store any PII data. So we do not store any PII data or any user data on the ledger. So we are completely in accordance with that.
Thank you.